It's a disgraceful trial put forward by an attorney general who's corrupt. We have murders going all over the city, all over the state at a record level. It's an epidemic, and they waste their time on this with banks that were very
Today,
happy
former
that-
President Trump appeared in court on a $250 million civil fraud lawsuit.
Now, this is a trial that's 4 years in the making. Just for some context, a 3-year investigation started with congressional testimony when the former president's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, testified in 2019 that Mr. Trump and his employees manipulated his net worth to suit his interests.
3 News legal analyst Stephanie Haney joining us now on the set. Stephanie, I know you've been following this very closely so far. What do we now know, and what has yet to be decided?
Well, at this point, Lena, Jay, and Christy, the New York Attorney General is already seeing this case as a major victory. That's because Judge Arthur Engoron has already ruled that the former president, his 2 oldest sons, Don Jr. and Eric, and the Trump Organization committed fraud by exaggerating Trump's property values by more than $2 billion and using those fake numbers to get better rates on loans and insurance. Now, there is still a lot left to decide, though, with several more fraud allegations in this case. The judge now has to hear evidence as to whether Trump and his associates broke state law by falsifying documents, conspired to falsify business records, conspired to issue false business and financial statements, and also whether they committed insurance fraud. Now, the judge will also decide the penalty here. The New York Attorney General, as mentioned before, is seeking $250 million in damages for the fraud allegations, and then also limits on the Trumps being able to do business in New York.
So we know that there were opening statements today. What stood out to you from each side?
Yeah, taking a look at what was said today earlier in the trial, we really got a telling preview of the arguments that both sides plan to present. Lawyer Kevin Wallace for the state of New York said that Trump overvalued his financial statements to the tune of $2.2 billion, that he knew they were false numbers, and then used them to get benefits that the organization was not entitled to. Now, Trump's attorney argued that numbers are open to interpretation, and they said that they'll call an accounting professor from New York University as an expert witness who will testify there's no such thing as an objective valuation of property, and there are lots of different ways to do it. And they also said there was no intent to defraud and no actual harm since the loans made the banks, quote, well over $100 million. So arguing there that it made the banks a lot of money.
Okay, well, this trial could take a while, right? I mean, do we know what's next?
Well, we do in terms of an expected amount for how long this will take. So this is just day 1 on this trial. Definitely a long way to go. It's expected to last for months. So this is the start of a very long road ahead for the former president and the current Republican frontrunner for the nomination for the 2024 presidential election. So over the next year, Trump faces a combined 91 charges in 4 criminal cases and several other lawsuits, along with the pressures of campaigning. Now, as for this case, Trump may have said that he's excited for the chance to testify, but we likely will not see him on the stand. And I would also bet that he won't be present in court for most of this trial moving forward. He doesn't have to be there, but he chose to be there today.
Yeah. Said he wanted to see it firsthand, all for himself. And also, on the judge's rulings that will be appealed. So this thing is going to take years, perhaps.
It's going to be a long time. We're not going to have final resolution on this for a very long time.
Stephanie, thank you. We appreciate it.